You may have heard one of the two things from your parents: go to university and get a degree, start working and save up your money. They may have done so with unruly confidence to the point where it made you question your own belief and knowledge. However, this is just what confidence does. It doesn't mean it's actually true. I firsthand know it isn't always the case, but you only really wish for success or you have unconditional love to those that are bound to you by blood, with the exceptions of a few close friends. And your parents or general family will tell you words which reflect their own life and experiences. Maybe if they made risky moves and lost all of their assets, they would tell you to play it safe and slowly build up your income and slowly save up money. Maybe they never got a high paying wage because of their studies and they would tell you to get better studies than them. Or maybe they were satisfied with their own lifestyle and they never believed in anything else, and they would tell you to do the same thing that they did. And in any situation, they will write off every other possibility and criticize it heavily. But in reality, they're actually doing this for your sake, because as family or parents, they worry about you. Though sometimes it's incorrect and sometimes it is correct. Now, what does this mean for you? So this doesn't mean that we should heed to every word that they tell us and never make a decision on our own, nor does it mean that we should never listen to what they say. There is great wisdom and great things for us to learn and to make decisions of based on what our parents tell us, or our family, or our loved ones, and I'm going to tell you exactly how to get the most out of it. The advice of your parents will be a projection of their own life. So as you know the most, you know what I like and you know what has worked for them and what hasn't. When you listen to them talk about things that have brought them joy and success, look at them and analyze them properly. This is a thing that most people like about my dad or my mom. And this is something that they achieved thanks to blank practice. For example, my father would say, don't settle with any woman, don't marry any woman, blah blah blah. He's not religious like me, he's not. Anyway, he's had a lot of success with ladies. Success, well, he's single, so maybe not so much, right? We see it differently, but he slept with a lot of women in his life, and he may advise me on how to get a girl. Now I look at him and I listen to the things he say and I know how he's had success. But if he tells me to not trust women, I will know that it is because of his own failures. I will know not to trust that advice. But if he tells me about how to make a woman feel special, I might take some advice from him. But it's about looking at the outcome of what has happened, listening to your advice, and then looking and knowing what your parents are like or your family and saying, okay, I can do A and B and C, but D, E and F is not good. It's a slow process of seeing through their words and separating their actions and their lives and their experiences and their story, and then weighing the things one next to the other, and then discerning what's the appropriate course of action, what's the right advice for you to make, blah blah blah. But it's something a lot more useful that I want to share, that I'm going to share right now. A lot of times in my life, I've made my parents once again have to project their own lives on me because I was uncertain on my step and I made them question me. And this caused me uncertainty when it was my turn to actually move forwards with the things that I said. Whether it was my decision to stay in the UK when I was 15 and we had to do some shady stuff, whether it was my decision to join the army after no one else did it and do it in another country different from our homeland, whether it was starting my first business, whether it was turning to Islam and being religious, a lot of my decisions have made them doubt me, as per se. There was one thing that made them finally stop imposing on me their lifestyles, their values, and they started respecting my actual decision to go forward. They still worried about me, of course they're my parents, but there's one thing that freed me from having all of these expectations and all of this unsolicited advice. The moment they started to trust my decision was the moment when I was actually showing firmness, competence, and life in my eyes, where I knew what I was talking about, where I was heading there, taking action, not dreaming or planning, no, genuinely getting there and showing some results. It's not necessarily a bad thing, you know. If we want to trust something, we want to see some kind of results. If somebody's talking to you about diet, about how to get nice, good body, whatever, you don't want them to be fat or anorexic. You want them to have some results to back up what they're talking about. This is the whole point of testimonials or referrals or anything of the sort. So I couldn't really blame them, and I understand the importance of it now. But that's when I realized another thing. They weren't actually questioning myself or my decisions. They were questioning my resolve. They wanted to see that I was ready to stick with my decision, whether the outcome would be good or bad, and that I was firm and devoted and dedicated. That I was decided to live with my life however it may turn out if I really was up for this challenge. Once they saw that I was really up for it, and once they saw that I was not backing down, that's when they gave me some space. That's when they started trusting me, and that's when I let them trust me. because they knew that if a man makes up his mind for something, or a person in general, they will go get that thing. And sure, they will still worry, they will still be there nagging a little bit every now and then, but that's because they're our family and they worry about us. However, they will now trust us, and this trust gives you such a freedom, which will alleviate a lot of the doubts that would have normally come your way. And without doubts, you're much more likely to get to where you dream or you aim to get to. Our parents are not doing this on purpose. They don't know they're doing it at all, and they don't know when they stop doing it. This is just our natural instinct of guidance and wishing the best and wanting to be there for our next in line. And who knows, we might actually be the exact same way and not realize it towards our children in the future. If you have something that you want to do, don't let your parents become an excuse to not achieve it. Don't let them become the figure of regret that you will look back in your life and think, if only they weren't there, if only it wasn't because of them, if only circumstances. Oh, how we love circumstances. I'm rooting for you. Strive to be 1% better every day, and much love.